Alicia, and I work at Freedom Regional Library, and I will be telling the true story of the Three Little Pigs, told by A. Wolf, by John Sika.
Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do, but nobody has ever heard my side of the story. See, my name is Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but maybe it's because of our diet. I can't help it if we like to eat cute little animals such as sheep, rabbits, and pigs. Just think of it as a big cheeseburger, a big juicy cheeseburger. But as I was saying, the true story of the Three Little Pigs is really all about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old sweet granny, and I had ran out of sugar. So I decided to walk down the street to my neighbor's house. And on this particular day, I wasn't feeling too well. I had a very bad sneezy cold. And as I approached the neighbor's door, he was the first pig. I knocked on the door, and there was no answer. So I called out, little pig, are you in?" And you know what? The door fell completely down, and I didn't want to walk into someone else's house unannounced. And at this time, I started to feel very, very sick. Oh dear. My nose started to itch, and I started huffing and puffing, and oh, I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! Oh dear. And you're not going to believe this, but the whole darn straw house fell down. And right there in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig. He was dead as a doornail. And you know, I didn't want to leave this perfectly good ham dinner just lying there. So I did the only thing I could do. I ate it up. Delicious. And you know what? By this time, I was starting to feel a little bit better. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old sweet granny's birthday cake. So I walked down the street to the second neighbor house. Now this second neighbor, he happened to be the first pig's brother. And you know, I could tell that he was a little smarter than his brother because he had built his house out of sticks. So I went to the doorbell, ding dong, and there was no answer. So I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And he yelled,
"Go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs of my chinny chin chin."
Oh dear. I had just reached out to touch the doorknob when I felt another sneezing cold coming on. And I huffed, and I puffed, and I choked. I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but the whole house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of sticks was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Well, I was starting to feel awfully full. And you know, you just can't leave a perfectly good ham dinner out there because good food was full. So again, I did the only thing I could do. I had a second helping. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old sweet granny's birthday cake. So I walked down the street to the third neighbor house, which happens to be the brother of the first and second pig. So when I arrived at the door, I knocked, and there was no answer. And I called, little pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker said to me? He said, go away, boy. You can't come in, and don't ever bother me again. Oh, I mean the nerve of him. Oh my goodness, I just figured he had a whole sack full of sugar in there, and he didn't even want to share it with me. Oh dear, and I was getting ready to leave without that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, when I felt yet another sneeze coming on. And oh, I huffed, and I puffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! Oh dear. And you know what that rude porker said to me? He said, and your granny, she can sit on a pen. Oh my dear, usually I'm a rather calm fellow, but when someone talks about my dear old granny like that, that's just when I lose it. And by the time the cops came, I was huffing and puffing and sneezing, and I was causing a real great scene. And when the reporters got hold to the story, they didn't want to tell about a poor sick guy going around borrowing a cup of sugar. So they jazzed up the whole story about me huffing and puffing and eating up these poor little pigs. And the rest, as they say, is history. I was sprained. Then maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar?
The end. Thank you.